Welcome to Fayetteville State University's SciTalk here on Bronco Television. With me today I've got Dr. Daniel Autrey. He's the Assistant Department Chair for the Department of Chemistry, Physics, and Material Science. How are you doing today, Dr. Autrey?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Good, good, good. So what all do you do here at FSU?
Well, I am an instructor. I teach physical chemistry, general chemistry. I'm the assistant department chair, so I help take care of student issues. I also do some research as well, areas in pedagogy, as well as in actual chemistry research.
Oh wow, that sounds fascinating. So what kind of research do you do?
Well, my area of interest is in making sensors to detect things using a laser-based method called Raman spectroscopy.
Okay.
And so molecules have specific fingerprints, vibrational patterns that we can use to identify them. And so using new two-dimensional materials, trying to build sensors that are more sensitive for that.
Wow, so fingerprints, sort of like forensic science, huh?
Similar to that,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. So what got you interested in chemistry?
Oh, I would say there's two main factors. The first factor was when I was very young, being taken to the Natural Science Museum in Houston. And I remember an exhibit that had a giant DNA strand, and you can walk through it. And I was so impressed by all of these representations of atoms being connected together into this phenomenal looking helical structure. I was so impressed by that. And then there was this giant periodic table that had lights on it. You can hit a button and it would tell you about all the different elements and what they did. And so that was what really initially captured my attention in chemistry. Later in life it was participating in science fairs. I had my stepfather, he was a chemical engineer. He kind of trained me in things like an area called electrochemistry, and so I had science fair experiments where I was taking this corrosive chromic acid and plating things, and it was fun. Now you could not do it now. There'd be so many violations of safety then, but yeah. The early 1990s was a different time.
A little bit different, bit different. Oh, sorry. Don't have my glasses on here. So you mentioned you do a lot of teaching.
Yes.
So what's your favorite aspect of teaching here at FSU?
Oh, I would say my favorite aspect is to interact with the students and to get them to see things from a different perspective. It's sort of like when a student has a problem trying to understand something, there's a diagnostic that you have to try to do. Find out where is their misconception. So it's finding ways to ask probing questions to try to draw the student out and to get them to maybe say something that is to identify what the misconception is.
So interesting. So sort of help them figure out what's going on inside their own thinking.
That is correct, yeah. And in the method of instruction that I'm doing, this flipped learning, really we're trying to empower our students to learn to teach themselves, give them the skills to acquire knowledge and to then apply that knowledge to understand problems.
Well, what is flipped learning? It sounds like it could be uncomfortable if you're standing on your head.
Well, it's almost that is uncomfortable, but it actually has been shown to be very beneficial for students in terms of their long-term knowledge. Essentially what flipped learning is that the activities that are done in the classroom are actually now done at home, and that the role of the instructor changes from being a source of information to rather being a coach or a facilitator. So, and so the students will acquire content knowledge at home through watching videos, by engaging in reading their textbook, doing some adaptive learning techniques, which is some technology base, way to dispense information. And then instead of and then they come to the classroom, and then they work together in groups on common problem-solving activities. And so there's an aspect of peer learning that's going on there. Meanwhile, the instructor, we are actually moving around, interacting with the groups, asking probing questions, trying to identify misconceptions going on with the groups.
Interesting, interesting. So that sounds kind of challenging.
It is challenging, yeah. It requires more preparation on the students coming into the class, as well as instructors. We have to stay on top of things too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so in today's world, what do you find to be the most exciting thing about chemistry?
I would say the most exciting thing right now is in nano technology and the development of new materials. Is that there are so many new materials out that their properties are just now being at the nanoscale that are just now being really understood. And it's a whole new area, some of these aspects. An area of materials that have captured my attention are these two-dimensional materials known as MXenes. They're similar to graphene, which is a carbon-based two-dimensional material, but these are made from transition metals and other elements. And they're now being used for potential applications in anything from battery research to making sensors, to being used in therapy for cancer.
Wow, that's quite a range of possibilities there.
Yes, there's shown to be a lot of potential uses for these materials.
Wow, wow. So if a student's interested in chemistry and physics, why should they come and study here at FSU? Or interested in chemistry and STEM, I mean. Why should they come here to study at FSU?
Well, I think the real advantage that we have is that first off, we're an American Chemical Society accredited program. We just received that in April after 40 years of faculty attempting this, so almost as long as I've been alive. But really, we have a real wealth of resources here at Fayetteville State. We have probably at least $10 million worth of instrumentation total that we've had, everything that, and some of which are incredibly unique. Not a lot of schools of our size have them, such as our electron microprobe facility that we can use to image things at very, very small levels and be able to do elemental analysis. And we have lots and lots of other instrumentation that students really get trained to get hands-on activity, to get hands-on training on, that at other larger schools they may not have that opportunity.
Really? Mm-hmm. So if they went to some place like NC State, they might not even get a chance to use the kinds of things that they get to use here.
That's right, yeah. And we have our faculty, we have, for the most part, relatively small class sizes of faculty to student ratios. And so the students really get to know their instructors very well, may join a research group with their with a faculty member, and get really hands-on personalized training in various techniques.
So this students actually doing research with undergraduate students.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Doing research with a faculty member. That must open up a huge number of opportunities for those students.
Yes, I think so. I've had a research student that started with some research with me, and then they got the opportunity to go to a Department of Energy laboratory in South Carolina, Savannah River National Laboratory.
Wow.
They received a 10-week internship, then they came back and continued the project here. We've had opportunities for students to participate in numerous other research opportunities at other institutions as well, and it all started by their skills that they developed while at Fayetteville State with the faculty member.
Okay, so that would suggest that Fayetteville State's chemistry graduates might go some interesting places.
Mm-hmm. We've had many go to graduate schools themselves, so we have even had some. I've now been at Fayetteville State for 16 years, starting year 17, and students that I have had as students are now faculty at other institutions.
Wow.
Yes.
That's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yes, and old, but yes, definitely feel good. Yeah.
Well, you don't look it.
Well, thank you.
Oh my goodness. So you already talked about, so that ACS accreditation, that sounds like that must have been a lot of work.
It was. It's roughly for one attempt, about a 2-year process. Wow. So there's an aspect where there's a pre-application, and then if approved, then there's a much longer drawn-out full application process. And then if that goes well, then there is a site visit. And then if that goes well, then there's a recommendation for approval. And so we've gone through all of those obstacles and now have the full accreditation.
Wow. So what does that mean for a student who attends here?
Well, it means it's a guarantee that we provide the same level of instruction and access to instrumentation and resources, academic resources, that a student at any of the other accredited programs would have.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, out of about 120 or 140 or so HBCUs, only about 25 have this accreditation, and we're one of those, that 25.
Wow, so here we've got this very small university here in Fayetteville, and it's doing all these incredible things. Mm-hmm. That's exciting. That is really exciting. Wow. So what other exciting things do you see happening in the Department of Chemistry, Physics, and Material Science?
Well, the department is very active in its outreach to the community. For example, we have on the 18th of October, on Friday, at about 6:30, a community science night, right?
Yeah. So what happens in this community science night?
Well, it's open to the public, and we encourage both parents and students from elementary, middle, and high schools to come and to see demonstrations of scientific events, and also there's some hands-on activity, and there's usually some popcorn and maybe cotton candy present as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like a fun time. What other things do we have exciting going on with the department?
Well, let's see. There's many other things.
Well, I mean, so you do research,
mm-hmm.
and you've had your student go to your national lab. What about other teachers?
Oh yes, we've had students that have been accepted into medical programs, graduate programs such as at Cornell. And also at Harvard. We have had we had about 16 students over the past summer participate in internships just this past semester or past summer.
Yeah, so that's a lot of excitement. That's a lot of very cool things to have.
And these students, when they come back, they will do seminars for other students. Also, too, we have summer camps.
Okay.
As well, yep. And also some planned for school teachers, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I think we've got. I don't want to be. I guess I should be the one being interviewed about the summer camps, but yeah, we do have STEM summer camps for high school kids.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Keeps me out of trouble.
The program too. We have eventually some renovations going on. That will be some new resources for the department and program. Yeah.
So that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is fun. It's nice to hear that we've got so many amazing things going on right here at FSU, and probably a lot of people in the community don't even realize it. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to know about that. Thank you, Dr. Autrey.
Thank you very much.
All right. And again, thank you for watching SciTalk here at Fayetteville State University.